In terms of positionless skill sets, do you believe that Americans teach that better? Or do Europeans teach that better? Like, are Americans better at teaching guard skills to bigs and big skills to guards, and vice versa, teaching the game at a youth level? Who do you think is better?
We could jump right into that conversation about what KD said. Like, I've been saying that.
This is the exact quote. He said, "All I hear is AAU is destroying the game. The Euros do it right, while the Americans do it wrong. It's a lot of bullshit with that. I can read between the lines on that. It's a shot at Black Americans. We are controlling the sport. They are tired. They are tired of us controlling the sport. France is coming for you. Really? We smacked them boys."
Right. So yeah, here's the thing. I agree with him 100%. 100%. Like, at the end of the day, I am a European coach. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of talent in Europe. It is growing, it is getting better. But when you talk about the grand scheme of all basketball, Europe or Australia or anywhere is not even remotely close. Yes, you do have these individual anomaly superstars, but in the grand scheme of basketball, it's not even close. And then when you create a narrative like that, you downplaying the people who are in the lead of the game. You know what I'm saying? So like they really didn't, like, don't get me wrong, Wembanyama is killing. Don't get me wrong, Jokic is doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But when you know the origin stories of all these players, number one, and number two, when you talk about college basketball, when you talk about even the best players in Europe, when you talk about the best players in the NBA as a whole, other countries don't stand a chance. So when you just start dropping these,
Who's won the last 6 MVPs?
Huh?
That's anomalies, though. That's anomalies.
Yeah, we talking about anomalies.
Everything that doesn't agree with your worldview is not an anomaly. Hold on. We got to do trend analysis here. More players are making the league from Europe. The league is going towards European style basketball. I believe the way the game is played today is more conducive to guys who are a little less athletic. There's a lot more motion, a lot more off-ball action. And Trey, like, all due respect, I do think the game is taught better in Europe.
Why?
So many reasons. Number one, the rest and recovery period between the games, where there is time to actually train, learn, instead of just packing up on a weekend and playing 5 games. Where are we learning with that? The individualization focus, right? When you go in AAU, it's an exhibit. You know, it's like, I'm trying to get my star his buckets, which is why a lot of very phenomenally athletic players, I don't think, develop properly in the AAU circuit.
Right.
Yep.
I think the third thing is the farm team system in Europe, where you're a young kid, you kind of come up. I don't think you get as much early over there. And I feel that teaches you how to be a role player first. I think it teaches you the fundamentals a little bit better.
Why do you? Hold on. You know, a lot of the trainers in Europe are from America, right?
That's number one. But really quick, the problem with your argument is a quantitative versus a quality argument.
Those two things aren't the same thing.
When people make this entire argument, they're comparing all of AU versus Real Madrid's under 18s or Olympiacos' under 18s. If you put when you put these clubs in this Europe development versus the Mount Verde, because I had to go, I go to the Adidas Next Gen under 21s.
Yeah.
When you put them against Spire Academy or Mount Verde or stuff like that, it don't compare.
They get smoked.
They get smoked because everything you talking about, this investment into development, the recovery, all this stuff is into the higher high schools and the real development. But what happens is this narrative is created by the quantity of AAU basketball, and that's the single argument versus all of basketball in the United States of America. So when we talk about basketball IQ, you refer to Luka, we always refer to
Jokic, sure.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we talk about their defense? That's part of IQ.
Yeah, their defense sucks.
Just talked about it. They're not physically gifted defenders, but one of the best defenders.
But why is that not included in?
Does Giannis not exist in your whole talk about defenders? Is Giannis not included? Because Giannis is a great defender.
But
OG Anunoby was born in Britain. He's a great defender.
Giannis was developed in the United States of America.
Giannis was 18. By the way, what are we doing here?
Right, 18, Penn. Like, he wasn't 13 or 14. He came over here and he was developed into a pro. He wasn't a pro before he got here.
Out of all these MVPs, it was just Joker who actually came from the European. But even Luka was developed by some, I'm not gonna say
Not an American.
he was like
yeah,
that's
a lot of them
Wemby
get trained by America. A lot of them do.
Yeah, when Wemby was playing for Levallois in France, Tim Martin was over in France developing him. That's what I'm saying. Like there's major American influence on these players for their transition in the NBA. This is what so many people don't know when they make these arguments of this whole Euro versus American stuff. And then, like I said, it's a quality versus quantity argument. We continue to talk about AAU, but we're not talking about these top high schools.
That's exactly. Thank you. Straight there, because that's what I was gonna get to. There's so much more than AAU basketball.
That's what I'm saying. If Mount Verde plays, I've seen it with my own eyes. If Mount Verde plays, Real Madrid's next stars, under 21s, not under 18.
You think they smoked them?
They will smoke them.
Yeah.
They will smoke them.
Bro,
let alone Olympiacos, let alone Alba Berlin, let alone they will smoke them.
Fener's under 18 team or under 21 team. You go to Fenerbahce under 21 team, like they had a dude, I forgot his name, with the little mustache. He athletic. Damn, I forgot his name.
Hazer?
He ended up trying out for the Kings.
You talking about
they were saying he was, huh?
You talking about Hazer? Seamus Hazer?
Yes, yeah, he was trying out for the Kings and shit, and that shit didn't work out. Like he cold over there. And
that's what I'm saying.
Send him to the Kings.
And look at when we talk about this development. Look at the difference between Luka and Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag, he playing defense. We don't never include defense in this argument.
But Penn, you had brought up like the number of league MVPs. So Giannis won it twice, right? Giannis won it twice. Then Joker won it, right? So when you talk about the Europeans, like who are the best European players in your estimation?
And I'll tell you exactly how each one developed.
I know
the details.
These European players, Penn, who are the best European players in your estimation? Joker, Wemby, Luka, and Giannis, right? Now, this is just European players. What's the now? Okay, we're talking current. Okay, so with those four guys, what's the gap between the next best European player and the best American player?
Sorry,
I think the gap is substantial. What's the gap between the next best European player and the best American player? Because the gap is, and then after that, what's the gap between the sixth best European player and the best American player? What's the gap?
I've devoted the last.
They don't even get good. They don't get good role players. They don't even get good role players. With
my brain works in market analysis, so I think of things like stock. Like that's my training. I got a CFA. That's what I do. So when I look at it and I say these two things weren't close and now they're a lot closer than they used to be, I have to look at how they got so close. How are they getting close? Is this the world catching up because more people play basketball, the growth of the game, more population, declining population, or is something going wrong in America with the AAU system with how coaches are teaching? Now look, I talk to trainers, not necessarily Trey. I mean, we don't talk that much, but I talk to other trainers, and a lot of them vouch for European, principles in terms of development. A lot of them vouch for that style, of training, and they think the kids play too much here. They do.
That could be true. That could be very true, right? But there's a couple things I wanted to say about this. First, I know that we see a lot of European guys come over here and play basketball, and I'm not talking about the top guys. I'm not talking about Luka, Jokic, Wemby, and Giannis. But there are guys, some European guys that are on rosters that there's American players that are over there that are better than them. You know what I'm saying? There is clearly a push to globalize the game, bring some more Europeans over here, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm 100% down with the expansion of basketball. I'm part of it. I want good basketball all over the world. I love basketball. But just because there's an influx of Europeans doesn't mean that those are the top players in the world. There's plenty, just like the one kid that we were talking about this summer. It's 6'11" kids all through these American high schools running through the lane.
He don't even play.
Doing all of that, right? But that's what I'm saying, Drench. But my other point is, we always have an AAU conversation. Right. And AAU basketball is not the end-all be-all to basketball in America, even at the youth level. There is plenty of other youth organizations around the world that are not AAU. You know what I'm saying?
And
even
the number
even that's changing a little bit to where they're doing more of a style where it's not just one team, one school. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of working together and they're developing. Like how for instance, I coach in the TYBA right out here in Portland, and we have from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way up. And we practice and we do skills as well. So it's not just playing games. We play most of the weekends, but then we have a day for skills, a day for practice. It's not just go out there and play. This narrative that's been driven about AAU being just rec ball or just junk ball or whatever, that's not true. There are some teams that do that, but there are also a lot of organizations that are getting kids better at basketball. It's not always just roll it out there, get him from over there, get her from over here, and just go. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a big narrative that's being pushed along with this European narrative that's clearly being pushed.
So Ox, if the AAU circuit is not just about if it's not the only and end-all be-all, like when did it pass high school basketball? Because I don't hear people talking about high school basketball nearly as much as when I was coming up. Like AAU,
I've been saying that for a while.
was a big deal when I was coming up, but high school basketball was always a big deal. Like when did AAU pass high school basketball?
It did not.
So before we even get there, let's talk about this system one more time.
Sure.
About this quantitative and quality narrative that's being created. Number one, let's specifically the French system. The French system, they had a pros, and they got certain teams in the EuroLeague, right?
Yep.
But the unders is something called espoir, right? Espoir is like the farm that feed from the younger players that feed up into the main players,
so and that's the G League basically.
Not the G League, but like they under 18s, under 21s, under 17s, right? So that's their version of the AAU.
Okay.
So like, let's say you got one with Le Mans. Let's say you got one with Nanterre. Let's say you got one with Asvel. A lot of these unders be trash, and and they get paid, and it's no different from AAU. We don't. That's not included into the conversation when we talking about espoirs versus AAU. We just talk about the best of the best from Europe versus the whole of AAU, and we
that group.
But we're not talking about the worst AAU teams here. That's not fair.
Keep going, Trey. Keep going, Trey.
Let me finish.
Keep going, Trey.
So then, when you transition into, like, we're talking about basketball, or are we when people use these 5 MVPs, basketball or the NBA? Because when you, as a marketing person, when you're talking about the NBA, you got to hear what Ox say. But when you talk about the game of basketball, you have to include NCAA, 1, 2, 3, 4, and NAI, and Division III. You have to include high school. You have to include JUCO. You have to include a JUCO. You got to include all forms of basketball, because then you're comparing a bunch of countries versus one. And then the faces of this sport are Black people. You don't hear the same shit in these systems in soccer. You only hear it in basketball. Like, you don't hear this shit like that. You don't hear this. And number one, as a skills coach, as somebody who has been nominated for the Naismith Hall of Fame twice, basketball is not that complicated for it to be a whole thing about IQ. It's not that complicated. Just because somebody might take a bad shot, or just because somebody might throw a turnover occasionally, that doesn't, as a whole, say a group of people don't have enough IQ to play a game, versus a whole nother group of people who clearly don't play defense. The
bottom line is we are spanking them in basketball to this day. Basketball is ours to this day. Now, it's a lot of great basketball players around the world, but I mean,
right. But when you when you say that out loud, when people can get on TV and they're losing, they're in the second, they're losing an Olympic, they're literally losing, and they get to say out loud, the American IQ is trash. You're generalizing an entire group of people.
You just generalized, but Europeans don't play defense.
But
Manu Ginobili didn't play defense.
First and foremost, Manu Ginobili is not European. He's from South America. That's number one. So stop with the Manu Ginobili thing.
First of all, he came up in Europe. No, shut. Nah, you're not giving me a geography lesson on Manu Ginobili, because
he came up over there, then Giannis came up over here.
Giannis came here when he was 18.
Yeah, he didn't have very much skill.
So what are we doing here?
Second league in Greece.
Hold on.
Greece didn't even believe in it. Greece didn't even believe in
Did
him.
y'all just invent another Giannis that was living in Atlanta, growing up in Atlanta? I don't know what. Look. I'm very tired right now, but I'm not so stupidly tired that I know that Giannis Antetokounmpo was not developed in Greek league. I know that.
He was playing in the second league over there. They didn't even believe in him.
What do you mean they didn't believe in him?
He was playing in the second league.
He didn't
because
play
he
for
wasn't very good. It's not because they didn't believe in him. This is
exactly. He got good over here.
He got good over here. He played for neither one of those teams. That's his hometown.
Oh Lord.
He got good in the States.
If you're gonna talk about no, hang on. If you're gonna talk about Europeans not playing defense, we need to hammer something down. If we're gonna take an average group of European players and an average group of American players, which of these groups is more likely to be injury prone or have their career derailed by injuries?
Which one's likely to be better?
Well, wait a minute, Penn. Which one is? Wait, are you suggesting
you know what? Do me a favor right now.
Stop right there, Penn, because you're saying that we're more likely to be injury prone because we're more likely to be injury prone because we're overworked. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that
if that's true, then that also means that I'm more likely to play through injury because I know how to play when I am overworked.
Those are two different things.
No, it's not.
Those are totally different things.
The argument that you're standing on is that I am more injury prone because I'm overworked. Well, the fact that I'm overworked,
it's not that you're
I know
overworked.
that I can work through injury. You're on the other hand,
overworked your muscle. What are we doing here? Is there kinesiology major here? No, this is not overwork. Chill. This is not overwork.
5 games. That was, in fact, Penn, that was your argument. 5 games. That's a lot of work.
Chill. You don't have time to prepare for 5 games.
Okay.
When you play 5 games, you're not scouting. You're not learning. This is how learning is done.
But you can't use that argument because that's AU.
I'm using it. Okay,
right.
Because you just want to be wrong this bad? Like, why are you using it?
Why?
Okay, how about this? How about this?
There's no reason to beg to be wrong.
We can talk in superlatives. We can say this guy gets injured. These bums don't play defense and all that shit. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. You tell me who does it better. Is it America or Europe? And you
better at basketball.
Forget that, Ox. Why do you always?
Why are we talking about that? That's the point. That's the whole conversation.
That's what we're talking about. Basketball.
No,
who's better at basketball?
Who better in basketball?
My God.
Who's better at basketball?
Penn, why? Okay, Penn, I want you to stay right where you are, Penn. So why aren't they better? Like, because to your point, you talked about being overworked. You're talking about the excess of training, right?
Where was basketball invented?
Who's better at basketball?
Okay,
stop going around it. Who better in basketball?
Basketball was invented in Seattle, but go ahead.
It was invented in Kansas, first of all.
Who better in basketball?
I think it was invented in Canada. But who's better at basketball?
It was not invented in Canada. I can't believe we talk about a show.
I
don't know where the fucking sport was invented.
Who is better at basketball?
This is the problem. Oh my!
No, the problem is that the problem is that you're so egotistical, so stubborn that you are begging to be wrong, and you can't answer this simple question: who is better at basketball? Not who's more injury prone, not who doesn't play defense, not where was it invented. Who's better at basketball?
Let me prove to you who's better at basketball, dear Ox.
Could you answer the question and then prove it? Who's better? Because I got to go in a second. I got a meeting.
Yeah, I know you have the attention span of a 5-year-old. But
all right, then for sure. So you can't answer the question. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I'm a draft the European team. You drafted American team from the current pool of NBA players.
That's not how it works. Who's better at basketball?
The best players in the league are European, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
No, they are not.
All right. No. This is it. This is it. No, we done. I'm cool.
Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't just win all these MVPs.
Okay, so that's
who's better at basketball?
That's less than 1. That's less than 0.11%.
The drop off is crazy.
How many European superstars were there in the 1990s?
Okay,
so what Mike
I'll give you a hint
because he playing Europe is the best. Like you see, get what I'm saying? Who is better in basketball?
Yo, take a nap, man. Go to sleep.
I'm talking to 3 people who are very, very invested in this idea that you are right. You don't want to hear the argument.
You're invested in being wrong right now. You're trying your hardest to be wrong. You're getting spanked right now.
I'll give you 2 arguments you don't want to hear.
You're getting spanked.
That's how I know you never hoop. That's how I know you never hoop. Because if you hooped, it would just be a simple question: who is better in basketball? You ain't never hooped.
Oh,
who better than basketball?
See,
You ain't
Trey,
never played. Who better in basketball?
Trey, this is such an ego flex and so low.
It's not. It's a
like,
no.
like,
you just took a shot
like,
at Act.
Pen, and
This is painful.
Pen, when you and me talk, right? Pen, when you and me talk, a lot of times we have really good dialogue. This is about ballers. That's what this is about right now. This is about basketball. This ain't about analyzing the game.
This is about market growth.
This isn't about analytics. This isn't about
this is about market analysis.
Basketball.
Stocks and bonds.
You and me.
Guns and butter.
Better. That's all this is about.
Chill. You may have this.
Oh God, you're not as smart as you think you are, bro. Answer the damn question. Who's better at basketball?
You know why? Because he never hooped. He never hooped.
I'm gonna bypass. I'm gonna bypass.
This
I'm gonna bypass the stupidity, and I'm gonna ask
This
you.
is just getting painful.
Painful. You can come up with
painful,
that's my thing with all this analytic shit. That's what in all this whole Europe. He never hooped. Everybody who be making this European argument never hooped. They never been to a European game, and I'm known as a scout. I'm here right now.
Praise Jesus. Okay, listen, Trey. I'm not arguing about your acumen. I'm not pretending I hoop better than you. That's not the argument that we're talking about.
I ain't even talking about me.
We're talking specifically about basketball development.
Yep.
We're specifically talking about basketball development. Yep. And you're saying, but who's better? Okay.
Yeah, they develop players better in America than they do in European. You are only talking about anomalies. You're talking about Jokic. You're talking about Luka, who Trey, by the way, saying that these guys have American trainers. You keep bringing up development as if they are developing the best of American basketball. They aren't. I even brought up to the point that they don't even have good role players. When they try to send their role players over here, their role players suck. Like
in the highest form.
And you tried to claim Manu. He's Argentinian.
And the
Manu Ginobili came up in the European pro leagues.
The highest form of youth development in Europe is the Adidas Next Gen. You have not been there. I have with my own eyes. So when we talk about the quality of quality, this is the quality of youth development European basketball. Phil Handy was just there. At the Next Gen Adidas European development. Phil Handy, not a European trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you put them against a Mount Verde or Spire Academy or Arizona Compass Prep, they will get smoked.
They next gen team will lose. But it ain't even gotta be Mount Verde though, Trey. It could just be the #1 team in the nation in high school. It don't gotta be like it don't even gotta be a private school. Like it can just be Ron
when it comes to this.
Ron probably could take his Seattle team, what's the team Tyron Stokes play for, and go out there and smack them.
Right.
Like you can do that.
Everybody's argument is Giannis and AAU.
Like that.
There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it.
Bottom line is y'all getting blind.
Hey Jordan, Tyron Stokes ain't even got to play. I'll take Knowledge Right. I'll take my dog Cam Babs. I'll take Achilles Rayner. Hey, we'll go over there and run Europe,
bro. Hey, Cam ain't no joke. Boy, hey, Cam ain't no joke.
I think
like that.
People get caught up in like the anomalies. Like even if you look at the EuroLeague game, the best players in the EuroLeague are American. So I don't know why do y'all?
What about women's basketball? We're not including that either. That's why I say that's what I'm keep saying. If we're talking about the NBA, you have
Sasha Vezenkov was American.
He came out here in
Europe though.
Hey, shout out to Sasha though.
And Sasha nice, but he's not the best player in Europe though. Sasha nice.
And again, the conversation we having is about basketball, not
the same way Steve Nash won MVP.
Good as a motherfucker.
So
that's
we're
why.
not including women's basketball either. You see what I'm saying?
Because
we're talking about basketball.
Because we know A'ja Wilson is the best basketball player in the world. So
that's what I'm saying. So
we're not even close on that.
Who is better than in basketball? Who develops?
He'll never answer that. Just don't even. He'll never answer that. He'll never answer that question.
But those are two different questions, Trey. Who develops better and who is better are two different questions.
I don't give a damn about development. If that's the case, then damn development. You wasting all that time being developed. Then if those are two different questions, I don't give a shit about development no more.
But
we still better.
Development question.
That's what I'm saying, Ox. We develop better too.
Yes, we develop better.
Where's more is that? Both. BOFF.
So both. A great example is Cooper Flag. That's a great example.
remain.
And not just Cooper Flag. What about these kids that are coming in the draft this year? This kid AJ DeBonsta.
Great.
What about this kid Darren Peterson? What about this kid Wilson at North Carolina? What about this kid Boozer? Like, these guys are developed by Americans. But Penn, why do you think Europeans are? You already answered that.
Other than AAU and them 5 players you keep naming.
My view on this. Well, I wanted to ask the checklist question, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask Trey specifically. Please take me off the big stage. Like, I haven't slept in 30 hours. I probably look like shit. Please take me off the big screen. Okay. In terms of positionless skill sets, do you believe that Americans teach that better? Or do Europeans teach that better? Like, are Americans better at teaching guard skills to bigs and big skills to guards and vice versa, teaching the game at a youth level? Who do you think is better prior to the age of 14? You think America's better? Okay, we're going to give that to America. Club system versus AAU. You think the AAU system is better? Like the quality of, I'm talking per capita. So don't use volume, because that's a big thing in America's favor. There's a lot of people who play basketball in America.
Right.
Okay. Basketball is a much bigger sport as it pertains to national appetites in America than it is in Europe.
Right.
So when we're talking about the European growth, it is anomalies, because picking up a basketball instead of a soccer ball is an anomaly. You are weird if you choose to play basketball in Europe. That's the point. But we're talking about the people who pick it up. Right. So in that case, who do you believe is better in terms of teaching the game?
That we have to shift the question a little bit, because you do have to include the prep schools and the private schools and stuff like that, right? So
I'm
like
as per capita. So I'm saying the average player, okay. So imagine 300,000. So here's what I just want to narrow it down to a specific thing. Okay. If 5,000 people pick up a basketball in Europe, then I want and 5 million people pick up a basketball in America, then I want you to talk about the median individual in that group.
I know, but
that's how we're going to get to the bottom of who's teaching the game better.
But the problem with that specific question is it becomes quantitative. Like you can't. You have to.
And who is better is a quantitative.
And you also have to. If you could take that same 5,000 and a specific demographic, you're gonna say the USA. It's a much difference in that 5,000 in Texas or in New York than it is in Minnesota or it is in Kansas. You see what I'm saying? So on the one hand,
on top of that, Penn, on top of that, Trey, to answer your question, don't forget, Penn, these 5,000 people who pick up basketballs, they're in academies, they're in clubs, and these are the best of the best. 5 million people in America, these are people that you find at the park. These are people you find in rec leagues.
And they don't get the attention that they're supposed to get.
Right.
I'm actually saying something different.
Sure.
If you go to a basketball state,
like
rather
Texas.
than a state that, yes,
okay,
that 5,000 is better. The development is better. So if you take Texas versus France, Texas.
Do you fight that, Penn? I think that's fair. Like a basketball state like New York, a basketball state like New Jersey,
like Michigan.
Like if you take 5,000 guys from Indiana, take 5,000 guys from Indiana, just ballers.
So,
right?
So
you take 5,000
totally
guys.
The question, but to counter that is we just choose a state.
Sure. Like you take 5,000 Penn. If you take 5,000 players from Michigan,
Indiana.
You take 5,000 players from Italy. Like who do you think is going to be better?
California. That's who's going to be better.
Look,
California.
Why are we ignoring the obvious elephant in the room?
What's that?
Why are we ignoring?
No, but keep it going. No.
Basketball is a tall person's game.
No, we're not doing that, Penn. Hell no. No way, Penn.
Hang on.
If we're doing that, then you got to answer the
listen to me.
Then you got to answer
just hear me out.
Better at basketball.
What
I know where he's going with this.
Ron, this is getting painful.
No, I know where he's going with this.
What are the tallest countries in Europe?
Wait, Penn. Wait. We got to question 2. I just fixed question 2. Let's get to question 3. It's USA question 2, because I just broke it down to states. So we're gonna take either California or Indiana. Let's get to question 3.
Okay.
Oh, you break it down. Oh, baby, come on.
No, I'm not breaking down.
You quit. Come on. I need you. You quit. Come on.
Okay. Practice versus game. So which of these philosophies do you agree with? I'm gonna lay out a plan for your, let's just say it's your little brother or your son.
Yes.
we're going to play one game on Sunday. We're going to do strength training on maybe Monday. We're going to do recovery on Tuesday, film study. We're going to do some sort of other sport or some sort of, connected activity on Wednesday. We're going to have a practice on Thursday. Then we're going to do recovery on Friday. And then we're going to play a game again on Saturday. We're going to have 5 days in the middle.
Age is this? What age is this, Pin? With like
13, 14, 15.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
around there. Versus we're going to play Monday. We're going to have a practice. We're going to play Wednesday. We're going to have a practice. We're going to get on a bus. And we're going to play 4 games. And we're not going to sit there and dissect the game film.
Who's doing that?
A lot of kids, yo. I've talked to kids who play 5-6 games in a week easily.
That's okay. Those kids, if you play Monday, Wednesday, and all those games on the weekend, then that's not just one program. Then that means
you're in multiple programs. You're
that means you're playing with your high school team. But if you're playing on a high school program, if you're playing for a real high school program, you're not playing with your club team at the same time. Not in October, November, December, and January. That's not happening.
Who do you think teaches passing angles better?
Oh my God.
America does.
Footwork?
America does.
America does, man.
America.
Okay.
Yes.
So Europe ain't got shit so far. Who do you think teaches footwork better?
They ain't
America.
shit. Not compared to America.
I have not been to one European program.
Yeah.
Where they have sat up and broken down somebody's footwork.
Okay.
I live in Europe.
Decision making?
Hey, Pin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you said that because this could actually go into playing chess. Who teaches how to make the correct decisions on the chessboard? But that translates over to basketball too. Earlier we was talking about this, Trey. You might be lost, but Victor Wembanyama's an
It does.
And Pin, to answer your question, so Germany, Netherlands, Croatia, Montenegro, they have the tallest people in the world.
Serbia has tall people too.
Mm-hmm.
I am blissfully short by Serbian standards. Most of my friends are like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 5'11". I look like I am very, very tiny. What I will say is that height does play a part in basketball. Average population size. So chill. Like as an estimate, you take a country like India. Why have they never produced an NBA player?
They have
a lot. Who?
You're 7.
Who?
Yeah, the kid that played for Memphis. Ain't he Indian?
You're 7. What's his name? He playing Europe now, though. You're 7.
Yeah, he played with the Georgetown, played for the Miami Heat. Okay. Yeah.
This is what I will say. Especially when you name a place like Serbia, is that players are gaining in Europe a lot more tenacity. This development narrative is not so much true because in Europe, you have a coach with a specific system who's going to live and die with that system no matter what. It don't have nothing to do with footwork. It don't have nothing to do with passing angles. It don't have nothing to do with that. But what I will say to help your argument, I'm working with you, is that European players, their tenacity is growing. So even under the worst circumstances, even with the sense of not being able to play basketball, you do have individuals who are breaking through, who are becoming killers. That's where the growth is actually happening. It's not so much development. It's the mentality of these European players where they're not afraid anymore. That is what's growing.
I think.
But in terms of development, you got to see it. Like one day I'm going to have you come, Pan. One day you're going to come to Europe. Me and you going to sit down because I do want to hear your mind too. You do have another view of basketball that I don't even necessarily have, regardless of my resume. And how I got to my position is by listening, learning, and absorbing. You know what I'm saying?
From people like that, from people like Pink,
people
sure.
like you.
Mm-hmm.
One day we're gonna come over here and you're gonna look at me and you're gonna be like, "Damn, dog, you was right."
Yeah, I mean, Trey, that's the same shit.
I mean, my sister's husband was a professional basketball player. Like, you're not gonna like tell me like, okay, this is what the pro system is like in Croatia. Like, no, I don't have an in-depth understanding like you do. I'm not in Austria. I'm not in Germany. I'm not in all these little youth tournaments that you're in. I'm not in those things because I don't live there anymore. I was born there. I don't live there. I haven't been back in like 4 years. So that is not my claim that I'm some moral authority on this. What I am saying, however,
that's not what he's saying. What he's saying, Penn, is that when he talks to you, he feels like he's going to learn something more.
No, I got that part. I got that part. So, but he ended it off with saying like, when you come here, you're gonna be like, you were right.
You are going to see some things his way. You are going to see some things his way. That's essentially.
And I was going to say
the question is never like who's better. Like, I acknowledge Americans are better. I get that. Trey.
Bingo. Now we got the answer that we was looking for. That's all we was trying to get to the bottom of.
Because that was the question.
That's all we was trying to get to the bottom of. That right there, Penn.
But I was even going to put it in perspective like this, like from a personal point. Like I always say this all the time with my best friend. He played in the NBA. And when he first was going to the EuroLeague, they was saying that he could not play in the EuroLeague. They was literally saying, he can't fit in the EuroLeague because he's not that good. And he like, bro, what? You niggas is way slower than NBA players. Y'all like not as coordinated as NBA players. Y'all less athletic. Like he like what, bro? His first year,
dribble. A lot of people can't dribble. A lot of people can't shoot.
His first year in the Euro Cup, the nigga averaged like 20 something.
Yeah. They don't even have a place to, bro. What? They don't even have a place to develop.
Yeah,
like, for example, in America, you can go to LA Fitness, Lifetime Fitness.
Right.
That's the minimum. Let alone if you do go to Mount Verde, these kids got key cards to go in the gym whenever they want and personal trainers.
Bro, it's a school down the street from my house. I trained a kid at Kincaid High School. Them niggas literally have 24/7 access.
In Germany, there's not one private gym in Germany.
Terrible. I played in Germany.
No, Germany is
there is no private gym. So when we talk about this development, where? Like, you see what I'm saying? And then when
they don't have open gyms. Like you can't, if it's not team practice or training, you can't. I wasn't
just go somewhere and get a run. Is that what you said?
No.
Chill. In Germany, I did not hold.
Germany is the hood for real.
Team practice. It was nowhere I could go.
I can't just go somewhere and get a run.
It is a few runs, but still, it's exactly what I'm saying. In France, it's only 3 gyms. It's Hoops Factory, it's My Joint, and it's One Ball. Like, that's what I'm saying. So develop where? Like, when they talk about this narrative, and again, when you talk about the NBA, this is where I will side with you about the NBA. But we're not talking about when this narrative is being spoken out loud. They're talking about basketball. They're not talking about the NBA.
Sure.
So you can't use an NBA argument versus the whole of basketball, because we also not including women's basketball. Because women's basketball clearly is more skilled than men's basketball. Who are the
Trey,
most
but if I said that, Trey, when I said that, who are the most skilled players in women's basketball? Americans. Where did they get that development from? The same people who develop in the women are the same people who develop in the men. It's just the men are more athletic. That's what I'm saying. Hey, so Trey, since you're a skills trainer, so are you saying that women's basketball more skilled than men's basketball? That's what you said?
Absolutely. Because they have to.
But when I said it
requires more skill.
It requires more skill.
To play.
And mind you,
when I said it, them niggas was like, chill, please. I'm like, you niggas is crazy, bro. You niggas is insane.
And it requires more skill in order to play. You can't just it has to. The players who have a vertical, whether it's like, let's say Caitlin Clark's ability to jump faster and shoot, her vertical is the reason, her athleticism in her legs, and her vertical is the reason why she can get that shot off whenever she wants. Or Asia Wilson being able to jump higher off the left. That's the difference. But all these players have mega skill. There are people
100%. It's not a Rudy Gobert in the WNBA. I promise you, it's not a Rudy Gobert in the WNBA.
There's not one Rudy Gobert in the WNBA.
Nah.
There's not even in terms of alpha scoring. Yes, but everybody play defense in the WNBA.
Yeah, the best players gotta be able to sit down and slide in order for you to win the goddamn MVP for sure.
So you got a Caitlin Clark.
It's ironic. Nafisa, DPOI, well, co-DPOI, Asia, DPOI.
So Ken, I'm not trying to shut you down, because when you do talk about the NBA, there is an argument in what you're talking about, the NBA. But we're talking about the whole of basketball. That's what this narrative is. It's about basketball. And that's where it becomes somewhat of a cultural, racial thing. We talking about basketball.
But it's not cultural or racial. We got here because Kevin Durant said that it was a black versus white thing. But Europeans are not all white. And the people profiting from the AAU are not black. Are not all black, at least.
But from the average person, because when you go into, I understand you going into the details.
The Nike EYBL, that's not lining the pockets of only black people.
But a lot of fans, when they hear about the outsiders outside the detailed people in basketball, when they hear basketball, they assume that it's just a black sport. So if you're walking down the street and you say, hey, I'm smarter than you in this, you only assume that one group of people is smarter than the next. When we talk about the masses in the sport of basketball, not that people don't even know what EYBL is. And it's 2 different EYBLs. It's one in the States and it's another one in Europe that's completely separate. That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't know these details. But when the average person, when you throw that narrative out there, people only assume that it's one group of people, and that's what Kevin Durant is saying. Like,
Look,
and
man,
I understand it.
I have come up here, and
after this last point, we do got to move on. I got to get
sure,
yeah,
absolutely. I gave you props for reading super chats, and then you were just like, all right,
don't blame me for what just happened. I had nothing to do with none of this.
Yeah, I mean that is fair. You did text me like an hour ago and say, "Pen, just go to bed," but I did not listen because I don't skip work. I've never skipped a day of work in my life.
I respect the intellectual curiosity, and I expect you getting your Mikal Bridges on, your AC.
And I'm sick too, so I'm sick too. If you can't tell, I'm really sweating for real. Like I've been sick like the last 3-4 days.
Hey, you so much you sweat right now.
Look, man,
Yeah,
I have made a career of being told that I'm an idiot for things that 3 years later I'm told, wow, I completely forgot you even said that. It happens a lot. It happens so often. I should freaking make a documentary about it where people tell me, oh, you're wrong about Shea being, oh, well, no, I guess we're going to talk about Shea that way. Oh, you're wrong about Cade MVP. And, now we're talking about Cade MVP. We can go down the victory lap list. I'm not wrong. I'm early, Ron. I'm early a lot. And here's what I'm telling you. The reason that I'm early.
Not wrong, but early.
Not wrong, but early. Print me a hat so that I can throw this one away. Look,
shit, Pen, you're gonna be 600 years early before that shit catch up.
I'm not 600 years early. What I'm saying is the reason that I am often very early on things, and I'm not perfect. The reason I'm early on a lot of things is because I do the trend analysis, and and you may not see this as charts, but Trey, 25 years ago, the idea of multiple European head coaches in the NBA, inconceivable, truly, based on what
I don't think they need that many dishes.
Culture.
I fucking hate that shit now.
Okay, well, this is why we can't have this argument, because hating on a person for being from another place is crazy to me.
No, it's not wild. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, bro,
because they've had to absolutely work.
Shit. Like, James Borrego is a sucky ass coach. He fucking sucks. They keep hiring him. He sucks. Like, he fucking trash. But like, they just hire him because he came from Europe. Like, who gives a fuck where he came from? He trashed their head coach. They do that shit. They'll fire Byron Scott. They'll fire Nate McMillan. But they'll fucking go hire James Borrego. The motherfucker sucked everywhere he went. He sucks. Like all because they got we got to expand the game.
It would be on reputation more than anything. It would be.
Jordan. Would it surprise you if I told you that James Borrego is not European, but he's actually American?
But where did he start his coaching from, Penn?
San Diego.
No, I'm saying when he became all of these type of coaches. When he became this coach in the NBA, he came from Europe. That was one of the things when he first got a head coach.
To my understanding,
the dude from the Suns too. The dude from the Suns that got fired.
Dude, what are you talking about? He's coached in America.
I will say, Penn, to your argument that somebody like David Blatt didn't get a fair chance.
No, he didn't.
David was a good. So here's the thing, Trey.
He's a good coach too.
David was a great coach, but here I'm going to tell you this: this idea of Americans versus Europe comes from like Cold War paranoia. Okay, it comes from a lot of stuff. There is a lot of history here. So when a European coach comes in and they don't have the right attitude about it, and you know what I'm talking about is true, like a David Blatt, where he comes in and he's like, "Yo, I coach Moscow, I coach Benetton Treviso, I'm the shit," and American players like, "Motherfucker, you don't know shit," and that's the problem. The guys who've made it so far, Jordi Fernandez, Darko Rajakovic, they cut their teeth as assistant coaches for a long time. They built huge, long-standing relationships. They have proof of concept. There's no way that Darko Rajakovic coaches in Europe, walks into the NBA and gets a job as a head coach. Impossible. Cannot get a job as easily as a JJ Redick or a Steve Nash because there's no equity there. He had to go and develop Devin Booker, go and develop Desmond Bane, have all those guys.
Why should he go? Why should he?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're good, right? But you understand that there's a barrier to access for not only European players in the NBA, but also European coaches, because there is a cultural sentiment that y'all do it different, we do it different, we're going to do it our way.
Yeah, that's why
this is what I'm saying.
Americans can't just go over there and coach.
Right.
Same thing. Like you're gonna.
How many black coaches is it in the Euro League?
No idea.
None, probably.
How many black coaches in Europe? There are black coaches in Europe.
understand it's a language gap too. And I understand like America or English is like one of the top. English and Spanish is one of the top languages in the world. However, and I understand that English is becoming more universal, but it's a what?
There's an approach gap.
I disagree. Let's say for example, Memphis's coach. After he won the Champions League
from Paris.
From Paris. And he went from the Euro Cup to the Euro League. He immediately went to Memphis. I don't think too many coaches is getting that opportunity.
That's crazy. Like that's insane.
Now I'm not taking nothing away from his coaching because he's a great coach. Right. He's a great coach. But when you talk about the separation between the Euro League and the NBA, he won the Euro Cup, went to the Euro League, and then went to the Memphis Grizzlies, just like that. I don't think and the Memphis aren't doing really that well, and he's getting chance after chance after chance after chance. You have coaches who will actually win, specifically black coaches, and will get fired and not get the same chances over and over
from the Bucks.
So when we talk about approach, at the end of the day, for me, just like how you're a marketing guy, for me, I'm also somewhat of a marketing guy with my basketball and stuff like that.
No, I'm not a marketing guy. I am a market guy, as in I like to study a market trend.
Okay,
so yeah,
let me
not
get
marketing.
Market. Okay,
yeah.
Let's talk about markets. If you take a kid from Serbia and if you take a kid from Detroit, who's gonna sell the most league passes? Who's gonna sell the most jerseys?
Now you're talking about marketing again.
No, we're talking about market because that person from Serbia has a market. He opens up a market, not marketing. He opens up a market.
But don't you find it ironic that teams almost exclusively refused to build around European players in the 90s for exactly the reason that they didn't think that Americans would pay to support a team led by a European player?
So but for me, you're talking about the trend of a market the trend of market back in the past. I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about right now.
I mean, is it more profitable for you to draft some guy from China? Yeah, it's more profitable because you're going to bring in a whole bunch of fans. Is it more profitable for you to draft him over AJ DeBonsa? No. There's a huge market for American players.
And what is the NBA? It's a business.
It is a business, but who led the league in votes? Go look at every All-Star vote leader for the last 25 years. When's the last time it was a European player?
We're not talking about the All-Star.
It's been Vince. It's been LeBron. That's the popularity. The whole world gets the vote. The most popular players are always American, Trey.
But still,
Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter, LeBron James. The most popular players in the world have always been American. If nothing else, the Europeans are considered like afterthoughts in the NBA.
But
they have to be so freaking good. Giannis had to be so damn good, and I still don't think he gets his credit because he talks a little bit different and he grew up somewhere else. Let's just be honest about it.
That still don't have anything to do with the quantitative of the people wherever he's from purchasing things that have to do with the NBA. Votes don't have nothing to do with it.
You telling me that Giannis is a bigger deal being from Greece of Nigerian origin than he would have been had he grown up in New York City as a New York kid? You can't say that with a straight face. If that 18-year-old kid came up stomping up in Harlem and came from Harlem, lived in the Bronx for a little bit.
Probably would have never gave him a
chance. He never would have a chance.
They probably wouldn't have gave him the chance that they gave him if he was from New York.
He wouldn't even exist. He wouldn't even exist.
He wouldn't have got that chance. It's a lot of motherfuckers that grow up in these urban cities, in these urban areas.
Mo Bamba didn't get a chance.
That's one out of thousands.
Obi Toppin didn't get a chance. Carter Knox didn't get a chance.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the hoes go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.